You're listening to TC Talks on TNT.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's TC here, back with another episode of TC Talks. And today, I got to play some catch up. I've had some computer problems, and yeah, I haven't been able to record videos. I spent 2 hours yesterday trying to figure out how to get this stupid computer to work with everything. And after 2 hours, I got my speakers on my computer working again because somehow magically the guy got them to shut off. But in either case, we're here today to bring you another installment of your favorite YouTube series. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new down below, just so you could take advantage of the giveaway we're going to be having at 25 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that button, turn on those notifications so you could stay up to date and make sure you don't miss your opportunity to win. So without further ado, let's play some catch up. So first thing we got to touch on is those Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, I know he deserves more credit than I'm going to give him this week, but for all I'm going to say about the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields is Justin Fields, you get my credit now. This is back to back weeks of a pretty decent performance. No interceptions this game, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing TD on top of that. That is exactly the kind of play I was expecting from Justin Fields week 1. This is why he was getting so much criticism from me. This is why the Chicago Bears got so much criticism from me, because I was expecting this kind of performance just on the reg. This is what is mandatory here in Chicago, and that's what my expectations were at. Now, unfortunately, he's doing this when the defense basically doesn't exist anymore, but it's good to see that going forward, Justin Fields might be the answer. Next, we're going to get to my predictions. Last week, I was 8-6, all thanks to DJ Moore thinking he was better than everybody else and deciding to take his helmet off during the field. And you know what I mean. But in either case, TC got screwed because he picked the Panthers to win that game. And had the game had played out just as TC predicted, if DJ Moore wouldn't have taken off his helmet, TC would have been right. TC was saying, hey, those Atlanta Falcons, they will make it an interesting game, but the Carolina Panthers will win. And lo and behold, that would have been the case had there not been a foolish penalty costing the Carolina Panthers those 15 yards. But in either case, TC's over it. He's not holding a grudge because it was also a terrible week in fantasy. Thank you, everybody who told me to start Swift over Williams. Jamal Williams went off last week. What did DeAndre Swift do? Nothing at all. So thank you for that. But in either case, we're moving on to this week, and I think I have a better shot playing my brother, but it'll be okay. But what predictions do we have for this week? So this is what we're gonna do. TC is gonna look right over here really quickly, and he's gonna give you his predictions. All right. Now, to be fair, TC did miss the Texans and Eagles, but did anybody expect the Eagles to lose? Seriously, somebody down below tell me you expected the Eagles to lose. And don't say you were wishing for the Eagles to lose. That's completely different. Okay, Texans fans, I understand your frustration. You still have hopes and dreams on the season, and they haven't been completely crushed due to the past decades of incompetence from your organization somehow. But in either case, we're here today. I think we could all assume I would have picked the Eagles if I was here yesterday, like I intended to be, but unfortunately, that was not the case. Then the Colts and Patriots, definitely rolling with the Patriots in this one. The Colts just looking abysmal all over. Anemic offense. Defense isn't holding up like you'd expect. Just a terrible showing. Packers versus Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions in this one just because I hate the Packers that much. And you know what? The Lions winning a game wouldn't be that bad. Then we have the Chargers and Falcons. And man, this is a tough game right here, just because the Chargers are at a pretty low point in their season right now. Meanwhile, the Falcons are riding high after beating the Carolina Panthers, and we all know that's a pretty bitter rivalry right there between Atlanta and Carolina. Those Carolinas, they got two of them, and there's only one Georgia. I mean, what are you going to do about it? But in either case, I think I'm going to have to roll it with the Falcons in this one just because of the way they've been playing. I know the Chargers are the better team, but I feel like the Falcons are the better team right now. Then you have the Bills taking on the Jets. And as much as I'd like to make another joke about the sauce and it smothering someone, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. There's going to be no sauce. I will tell you there will be some fire though, because Josh Allen, that man could that man could start a fire underwater. That's how freaking hot he is. That guy's got the hot hand this year. And honestly, as much as I like the Jets defense, I think the Bills are gonna, roll right over that. Okay. It's gonna be non-existent. Then you have the Bills taking on the Jets. And as much as I would like to make a joke about Zach Wilson and Sauce and your mom for this week and winning on Sunday and then going to your mom's house later, I just can't make that joke this week because Josh Allen is about to take Zach Wilson to the woods, if you will. But in either case, Josh Allen and the Bills get the win. Then you have the Vikings taking on the Commanders. And, I love Taylor Heineke. I hate the Washington Commanders. Might as well just go with the division rival. The Vikings just better than the Commanders. Okay, let's be real. Then you have the Panthers and Bengals. And I mean, I know the Bengals are coming off a tough loss, but Joe Burrow and those Bengals all the way 100%. Then you have the Raiders and Jaguars. This might be one of the hardest games to predict just because the Raiders are like, sometimes we like to show up and play football, and other times they don't even know where the end zones are. It seems very confusing the sport to these guys. So hopefully they're able to find Jacksonville. I mean, hopefully they don't go to Tampa Bay or something like that. I think they're playing the Bucks. I don't know, but in either case, let's hope that the Raiders are able to pull away with the win because that's what I'm going to predict. But I'm kind of questioning it now that I said it, but we'll go with that. All right. So then we have the Dolphins and Bears, and yeah, Dolphins and Bears. So the Dolphins win. Bears, as much as I'd like to root for you, I have to go against you here. Hopefully, you prove me wrong. You can be an upset that I'm okay with. All right. I don't expect it, but I'll be okay with it. All right. Hence the name upset, I guess. But Dolphins all the way. Tua looking too good. The Bears defense just not looking too good at all. So, yeah, it's just going to be a bad time for Chicago Bears fans. Hopefully, we enjoy seeing some good quarterback play. Hopefully, Justin Fields keeps it up and can maybe rival Tua with some of the throws they're able to make, and maybe make a fun game out of it because it is a game. But I don't think it's going to be the case. It's going to be Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears just getting absolutely destroyed. Then you have the Seahawks and the Cardinals, and I got the Seahawks all the way in this one. I don't know about you, but if you got anybody other than the Seahawks in this one, no, wrong. Either case, Rams and Buccaneers. Wow, talk about mid and mid. I mean, the Rams are like, we don't know what we're doing. Tom Brady's like, I've given up on what I've been doing just because my wife left me and I don't seem to have a purpose anymore. And that really seems to be the case, unfortunately, for Tom Brady because he's just not doing good anymore. Ever since seemed like the divorce was going to be a thing, Tom Brady just basically disappeared from football. I mean, he's there, but you could put like anybody back there and it'd be the same thing for the production he's doing. It's just the name really at this point. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has the same number, just throw him back there. I don't know anybody else with the number 12 to be honest that still plays. So anybody with the number 12, go ahead and throw him back there. He'll work in just fine. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be a mid game, okay. But I gotta go with the Rams just because I don't have any faith in Tom Brady. I've had faith in him last week. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Didn't work out too well for me. So I'm gonna have to go with the Rams. Then you have the Titans and Chiefs, and I guess the Titans are apparently a good team now because they're in first place. But the Chiefs will put that to rest. All right. So the Chiefs obviously get the win in this one. Titans are going to look really bad. Then you got the Ravens and Saints. Honestly, I want to go with the Ravens in this one just because they were able to pick up the win last week as well. But the Saints, I don't know. They're an interesting team. Very interesting team. Just came off a very good win. So maybe they'll ride that momentum in, especially with a damaged Ravens team. If Mark Andrews doesn't play, the offense is going to be a struggle again. So maybe that's going to all come down to it. But for right now, given where I know things are at, which is Mark Andrews is playing poorly, Lamar Jackson's playing rather poorly. The offense isn't doing too good. But on the flip side, the Saints are about as wishy-washy as Andy Dalton. So that's not good either. So I'm going to have to go with the Ravens just because I feel more secure with that vote. But at the same time, this doesn't dismiss my prediction, but I will qualify it with the Saints playing good football right now. And we all know how TC feels about the energy you have, how you're doing right now, what you carry in week to week, because sometimes that energy runs out, but other times you're able to carry it for a while. I think the Saints might have the ability to carry it, especially given their performance last week. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about those predictions down in the comment section below. To wrap up, though, we're not going to finish just here at the NFL. We're going to tell you about the Chicago Bulls because the Chicago Bulls are actually doing a little bit off compared to what a lot of Bulls fans were expecting, in my opinion, to start the season. They're a little bit rocky right now, 5-4. They're playing the Boston Celtics right now. It's 57-63 right now, I believe, at halftime. Yes, it's at halftime. And it's a good game, but the Bulls need to be able to win these games. The Bulls need to be able to beat these higher tier teams within the East. And we're already seeing one of the major problems that I talked about in the postseason, talking about the problem with Vucevic and this defense and this team overall, is Vucevic can't post up with these other big men in the East. And I understand the basketball world as a whole doesn't revolve on these freaks of nature big men. However, if you look at the playoffs last year for the East, if you look at the, defending champions from 2 years ago in the East, it was big men leading those teams to those championships. Now, you could argue that there were, definitely shooters involved, but it was the threat factor. It was the ability for those big men to dominate the paint, to dominate the rim, to just impose their will on defenses that forced, teams to strategically bring guys in, pull guys in from around the perimeter to help slow and stop this attack from a driving, big man that gives the open shot to those threes. It's that kind of impact. The Bulls lack that ability. And I know they got Drummond, and he's a great addition. He's a great second man. He's a great bench player. However, the Bulls needed to get someone better than Vooch for a starter. They just needed it. I understand Vooch is a good shooter. I understand he stretches the floor, but you really do need someone who's able to rival those big guys. And let's be honest, Vooch is a liability on defense. Vooch he gives up more than he scores. And I understand that, it's a trade off sort of thing. You're not going to have guys that always, put in more points than points they give up. It's just almost impossible, especially, given how little time some people play and how, if they never take a shot, but they give up two baskets, it's 4 points given up with no points. Is it really that big of a deal? No. So I'm not going to harp on him like it's the biggest thing in the world. However, there are games, and it's usually against these bigger guys, where he gets completely embarrassed. The rebounds aren't there, which is supposed to be one of his biggest strengths. And then you don't see the same points because the bigger guys are able to shut him down when he's on offense. And then defensively, he looks terrible because he really gets exposed by these bigger guys. So it's just a recipe for disaster for this team when Vooch is in the lineup. I understand they have great guys to help boost the team and get over the humps. But when you look at this good competition, when you look at this game right now, when the Bulls are trailing by 7 points at the half, it's because of guys like Vooch. I understand he's putting up 20, 15 points a game, but at the same time, he's not executing the way the Bulls need a big man to execute. They need a big man to compete with Joel Embiid. But let's talk about some positives for those Chicago Bulls. The biggest thing that I'm seeing in this game is the two guys with some of the most minutes, Zach LaVine at 20. And that's big news because Zach LaVine was going game on, game off. It was earlier this week, I believe, that kind of started to conclude in terms of him playing consecutive games. He was going 1 week, one night on, one night off. And now we're seeing him play consecutively. We're seeing him play more minutes as well. 20 minutes within this first half is always a good sign in terms of the health of his leg and all of that, or his knee, I should say. So those are all good signs for the Chicago Bulls. And on top of that, another guy who's actually tied for the second most minutes with the Bulls right now with DeMar DeRozan is Patrick Williams. And Patrick Williams was under a lot of scrutiny in the beginning of the season. He was kind of underperforming. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about in a video I tried to make yesterday was the fact that Patrick Williams, when he played that bench game, I believe it was March or something like that, last year was the end of the season, and both teams kind of just played their bench players. And Patrick Williams was obviously the best player on the court. He really did play like he was the best player on the court. He absolutely dominated. He looked fantastic. And it was like, yes, this is why the Bulls went out and got Patrick Williams. And that energy never translated into the postseason. You saw glimpses of it, but you didn't see it in like a full game. You didn't see it throughout the full series of the playoffs, obviously. So that's the biggest issue, is getting that consistency in terms of his confidence and his ability to believe in himself. He's got the physical skills. If you send him out there right now to shoot a basket, he'll make at least 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, something like that. However, in these situations where he's not the best, he still needs to play like he can fulfill those purposes that he has. They need somebody who's going to be able to shoot, when they need that shot. And he's got the ability to do that. They need somebody who's able to play lockdown defense, and he plays pretty good defense. They need somebody to help Vooch closer to the rim, and he's going to be able to do that. And he is just a force on this team. He's great in transition, and he's got fast hands. I know that's not a biggest quality in the NBA, but it does lead to his defensive ability. So he has all the weapons. Now he just needs to have the mental power to be able to go out there and believe in himself and believe he can develop into a DeMar DeRozan like player. I'm not saying, same style or anything, but in terms of performance, in terms of, star power and all that stuff, I believe Patrick Williams is destined for all that if he could get his mind right. But beyond that, you also see DeMar DeRozan having a pretty good night. DeMar DeRozan, 18 minutes, 22 points already. Patrick Williams, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Then you have Zach LaVine with 10 points, 4 rebounds as well. So obviously those two guys doing a pretty bang up job. Ayo's also back in the lineup, doing pretty good. It was the starting point guard tonight. 17 minutes as well. So I guess it's a three-way tie for minutes there, but 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. So he's doing pretty good as well. Caruso, 2 points, 3 assists. So everyone's dealing, everybody is fulfilling that role. And you really see Patrick Williams in that power forward position, just kind of being that Swiss Army knife, so to speak. He's got an assist, he's got a good amount of rebounds, he's got some points to go along with it. So he's really doing everything that they need him to do. Unfortunately, I am at work, so it's not like I could see the type of defense he's doing right now, but I can imagine he's playing some pretty good defense on top of all of that. So a lot of upside for Bulls fans, a lot of upside right now for Chicago Bears fans in terms of Justin Fields. And, again, remind me, go ahead and look back at those predictions. Tell me what you think about them. Let's go through it one more time. Obviously, the Eagles already won. We went with the Eagles regardless. I mean, let's be honest. Then you have the Patriots, Lions, Falcons, Bills, Vikings, Bengals. Sorry, not Panthers. Ugh. Then you have the Raiders, Dolphins, Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs, and Ravens. Yes, that's what it was. But again, let me know if you agree with any of those. Which ones do you disagree with and why? I'd like to know down in the comment section below. I want to thank you for just bearing with me. I had some technical difficulties with my camera, like I was talking about in the video. So we're just here trying to get the content out to you. That auto exposure is just working really magically throughout this video. But until next time, this has been TC with TC Talks. Peace.